is Lou. Today, we are going to be looking in the pre-intermediate book, pages 81, 82, and 83. Now, we are going to be looking over these ed and ing adjectives. Now, remind me, what does an adjective do for a noun?
An adjective describes a noun.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So, we are going to use these describing words, these adjectives, to express how we would feel in these different situations. Mr. Paul, what is our first sentence here?
You get stuck in a lift.
Correct. And if you get stuck in a lift, how do you feel?
Claustrophobic.
Well, out of these words.
Terrified.
Terrified. Now, what does number 2 say?
You go on a 15-mile walk, then climb 3 mountains.
Yes. So, how would you feel out of all these words if you went for a 15-mile walk and then climbed 3 mountains?
Well, my experience would be exhausting.
Yes. Whenever I do a 15-mile walk and climb 3 mountains, I feel exhausted. Now, what does number 3 say?
You go on the biggest roller coaster in the world.
Aha. And how would you feel?
Well, my experience would be terrifying.
Terrifying, yes. And number 4, what do you think?
You find a spider in the bath.
Oh my. And how would that make you feel?
Oh, can I go back to the other one, the roller coaster? My experience would be exciting.
That could be your experience.
And my experience for number 4, finding a spider in the bath, that would be frightening.
Yes, that could be. And what does number 5 say?
Someone shows you their holiday photos for hours and hours. My experience of that would be very boring.
Yes, that probably would be boring. And what does number 6 say?
Your teacher says, you're all such wonderful students that I won't give you any more homework. My experience of that would be surprising.
That would be surprising, yes. Let's see what the book has for us. So, we have frightening or exhausting for number 1, exhausting for number 2, frightening or exciting or terrifying for number 3, frightening or terrifying for number 4, boring for number 5, and surprising for number 6. Interesting. Now, we have another question. How do the people in the photos feel? How do you think he feels?
He feels exhausted.
He looks exhausted. Yes, he has his hands on his knees. He's having trouble breathing. He could be very exhausted. How about this man?
He feels bored.
He looks bored with his hand on his head. And how does this man feel?
He feels... Oh, I'm not sure, teacher. What do you think?
With his hand like this, maybe he is in deep thought. Maybe he is a bit worried. That is not the most expressive picture, is it?
Are we supposed to use the words in the box?
What do you think about this?
Oh no, look.
It just
new
says how
words.
people feel. They don't need the same words.
Yeah, these words here. Here. Up. No, you're going the wrong way.
These?
No. Have a look down. That's it. These words here.
Interesting, boring, exciting?
Here, look. In this box. This box here.
Oh, these words.
I think that man looks worried.
He could be worried.
He looks worried. This one. Yeah.
And how about this man here?
He looks He looks actually interested in what he's doing.
Could be interesting, yes.
Interested, excited.
Very good. Now we have listen and practice the pronunciation of these words.
Tape script 10.4. Frightened.
Frightened.
Excited.
Excited.
Surprised.
Surprised.
Terrified.
Terrified.
Bored.
Bored.
Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Very good. Oh my. Okay. Now we have ing adjectives describing a situation, person, or thing. We have some examples here: an interesting life, a boring teacher, an exciting match. Our ed adjectives describe how people feel. Our examples: I'm very interested in modern art. We were bored at the end of the lesson. She's excited about going on holiday tomorrow. Very good. Now we have complete the sentences. Use one of these adjectives. So number one, I met a famous football player today. Really, how
exciting.
exciting? Could
How
be-
interesting.
That would be good. I spent 4 hours going around a museum. Was it
Boring. No, it was interesting.
boring? No, it was interesting. That sounds good. I haven't heard from my parents for 2 months. You must be.
You must be worried.
Worried is appropriate. Well, Maria, what are you doing here? Why are you so
excited to see me?
excited to see me? I failed my exam. I worked really hard for it. I'm so
Disappointed.
disappointed. Smoke started to come from the front of the
Excuse
plane.
me, teacher, can we go back to number 4?
Sure.
Wow, Maria, what are you doing here? Why are you so surprised to see me?
Surprise.
But this is Maria speaking. She says, why are you so surprised to see me?
Surprise could be very appropriate. I failed my exam. I worked really hard for it. I'm so
Disappointed.
disappointed. Smoke started to come from the front of the plane. Weren't you?
Weren't you worried? Weren't you frightened? Weren't you frightened?
Frightened could be appropriate. My computer's broken and I don't understand the manual.
It's so confusing.
Confusing. Yes, very, very good. Now, we have listen to the beginnings of the lines and complete them. Let's hear this.
Tape script 10.5. 1.
I met a famous football player today.
2.
What could be our ending to I met a famous football player today?
How interesting.
2.
I spent 4 hours going around a museum.
3.
What could be our ending there?
Was it boring?
Was it boring?
No, it was interesting.
I haven't heard from my parents for 2 months.
You must be...
You must
I
be.
don't know, what's it say? This is the beginnings of the line, it's complete.
I haven't heard my parents.
Yes, you must be worried.
You must be worried, yes.
4.
Wow, Maria! What are you doing here?
Why are you so surprised to see me?
Why are you so surprised?
5.
I failed my exam. I worked.
I worked very hard. Oh, how disappointing.
Very good.
6. Smoke started to come from the front of the plane.
computer's broken and a...
And I'm going to the repair shop to get it fixed.
Maybe it's so frustrating. My computer's broken, I understand the manual. It's so frustrating.
No, it's confusing.
Confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Oh, you're right. Confusing. Very good. Do we have any questions on this material?
No, teacher.
Very good. Let's move forward. So, we have an interesting beginning here. Describe what you can see in the photograph. Which country do you think it is? What makes life difficult for people who live here? What do we think?
Oh, I think this could be Greenland. And it would be difficult to live there because the land is so barren and they've got these really high mountains, so it looks very, very cold. And I think the cold temperatures, I mean, it could even possibly be part of Siberia. But I think somewhere like the north, the Arctic, I don't know, Greenland, somewhere like that.
Okay, let's see. Oh, the country is Alaska. You're correct. That is near the north. Not Greenland, but definitely near the north. Life is difficult because the conditions are extreme. A lot of mountains and rivers. It's often cold with little daylight. Interesting. Now, we have read the introductory paragraph and the words in bold. In pairs, decide whether these statements are true or false. Let's look over our first paragraph here. Mr. Paul, please read.
In April 1992, Chris McCandless, a young man from a wealthy American family, hitchhiked to Alaska. 4 months later, his dead body was found by a group of hunters. John Krakauer investigated the story.
How terrible. Okay. Let's see what's true and false here.
I think we need to read the article, teacher.
This doesn't read the introductory paragraph in the words in
Oh, okay.
We'll read the article for the section.
Yeah.
Chris McCandless died very young. True or false?
True.
True. He was killed by hunters.
We don't know.
We don't know. They found his body. They may have killed him, or someone else may have killed him first, and they found him.
Teacher, was that the introductory paragraph? I think it wasn't. I think that was just the title.
I think that was the introductory.
There's no information to answer these questions.
Well, okay. Let's read this first paragraph then.
Yeah. When Chris McCandless graduated from Emory University, Atlanta in June 1990, he sent his parents a letter containing his final reports. His letter ended saying, "Say hi to everyone for me." No one in Chris's family ever heard from him again. He drove out of Atlanta and invented a new life for himself with a new name. He left his car in some woods and burned all his money because, as he wrote in his diary, "I need no possessions. I can survive with just nature."
For the next 2 years, he hitched to various parts of the United States and Mexico. He wanted the freedom to go where he wanted to and work when he needed. For him, his life was very rich. It's great to be alive. Thank you, his diary reads. Chris came from a comfortable background. His father had a business which he ran efficiently, and he controlled his own family in a similar way. Chris and his father didn't get on. When his parents didn't hear from him for several months, they contacted the police, but they could do nothing. In July 1992, 2 years after Chris left Atlanta, his mother woke in the middle of the night. I could hear Chris calling me. I wasn't dreaming, he was begging, "Mom, help me." But I couldn't help him because I didn't know where he was. Chris's dream was to spend some time in Alaska, and this is where he went in April 1992. In early May, after a few days in the Alaskan bush, Chris found an old bus which hunters use for shelter, and a bed and a stove. He decided to stay there for a while. Total freedom, he wrote. "My home is the road." However, reality soon changed to the dream. He was hungry, and it was difficult to find enough to eat. He shot ducks, squirrels, birds, and sometimes a moose, and with these he ate wild potatoes, wild mushrooms, and berries. He was losing a lot of weight. On July 30th, he wrote, "Extremely weak, fall to potato seed, can't stand up, starving, danger." It seems that Chris was eating a part of a wild potato plant that was poisonous. He couldn't get out of the bus to look for food. "I'm trapped in the wild," he wrote on August 5th. He became weaker and weaker as he was starving to death. His final note says, "I've had a good life, goodbye." Then he crawled into a sleeping bag and lost consciousness. He probably died on August 18th. One of the last things he did was to take a photograph of himself, one hand holding his final note, the other hand raised in a brave goodbye. His face is horribly thin, but he is smiling in the picture, and the look in his eyes says, "I am at peace." This is a very strange story. I would not recommend this behavior to anyone. So, what do we have here? Chris McCandless died very young. True or false?
True.
True. He was killed by hunters.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Sounds like he died of starvation.
Mm.
He didn't enjoy his life.
Yes, he did.
He enjoyed at least the early part of his life.
Yeah.
Things
The part
like
that he enjoyed was being out in nature.
Feeling free, yes. He loved nature and a simple life.
Yes, he did.
He did. He wanted to die.
No, he didn't.
No, it doesn't say he wanted to die. At the end of his life, he was at peace. Doesn't necessarily mean he welcomed death. He knew he was dying.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. He was feeling weaker and weaker and having health problems from eating poisoned potatoes and starving. Okay. Read to the line ending, "Thank you," his diary reads, and answer the questions. We have read our passage. Did Chris keep in touch with his parents?
Well, yes, he did, I think. He tried to.
It did mention there was a period of time where he didn't contact them.
Because when he was out in the wilds, he couldn't contact them.
Right.
But up until that time, he did.
It did mention a quick phone call saying, help me," to his mother. And his mother didn't know where he was. So, he was out of touch with them for a period of time. We do know that. When did they last hear from him?
I don't know.
Let's put that up.
Oh, there it is. You've gone too far. So this first paragraph here. He sent his parents a letter containing his final reports. His letter, hi to everyone. This was in June 1990.
We have this from June 1990. When did he make this phone call to his parents?
No, but there it says they didn't hear from him again.
Let's see. In July
That's a dream.
1992,
That was a dream.
his mother woke in the middle of the night. I could hear Chris calling me. I wasn't dreaming. He was begging, "Mom, help me." So maybe July 1992.
No, she could hear this when she was asleep. And she heard, whilst she was kind of half asleep, half awake, she heard him calling her. But the last time she actually heard from him was in 1990. Then he went off on his travels, and they didn't hear from him again. Except when she had this like premonition.
His mother woke in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I could hear Chris calling me. I wasn't dreaming.
Yeah, it's like a premonition, isn't it?
I couldn't help him because I didn't know where he was. This did in fact happen, right?
She's waking from a dream, and she says she wasn't asleep, but she heard his voice calling.
It says, I wasn't dreaming.
Yeah, but she wasn't really asleep, she wasn't really awake. But it's like a premonition, like some people have visions.
It says his mother woke in the middle of the night.
Yes. So where was he then? He was in Alaska, she's in America. He must have a very strong voice, if she could hear him.
I could hear Chris calling me.
Yeah, it's a premonition. It didn't actually happen. But probably he was calling her. Because he's the son, and mother-son connection, sometimes it's like twins, isn't it? One feels ill, then the other one feels ill. See what I mean? I mean, from a factual point of view, if she's in her bedroom in America, and he's in Alaska, he's lost, and he's calling out, Mom, help me, help me. And she has this premonition of it. She can actually visualize what happened.
Okay. So this is a very strange story. Okay, so now we have, read to the line ending, thank you, as Dari reads and answer the questions. Did Chris keep in touch with his parents?
Well, initially he did. When did they last hear from him? It was 1990.
Right.
Yeah. In June 1990.
June 1990, his letter ended, say hi to everyone for me, right?
Yeah. And no one in Chris's family ever heard from him again.
No one ever heard from him again, that's correct. Now, when did the last hear from him? June 1990. Why did he get rid of his car and burn his money?
Because he said he needed no possessions.
He wanted no possessions, complete freedom.
Yeah.
All he needed was nature.
What did he need? He needed nature.
Nature, yes.
What didn't he need?
He didn't need material goods, I suppose. What did he need? What didn't he need? In what way was his life rich?
Because he was free. He had nature. He had everything he needed.
Yes, he did feel free. He was out in nature doing what he liked. Yes, for at least a period of time. Read the line ending, I didn't know where he was. Choose the best answer.
There it is.
See it?
Yeah, the arrow is pointing at it. You see the arrow on your board? The white arrow, it's pointing at it. I didn't know where he was.
I couldn't help him because I didn't know where he was. Okay. Chris didn't get on with his father because his father what do we think?
Tried to tell Chris what to do.
Tried to tell him what to do. When the parents didn't hear Chris,
Hear from Chris. They got in touch with the police.
they did contact the police, yes. In July 1992,
His mother is sure that she heard Chris calling her.
that's correct. Now we have read to the end. Correct the mistakes in this summary. We have Chris got to the train to Alaska and arrived in May 1992. He lived in a bus and there was a bed and a bath in it. I believe we do have some mistakes here, right?
Yeah, we've got to correct the mistakes.
Did he use the train?
No, I don't think so.
He hitchhiked, right?
He hitchhiked, yeah.
Now, was there a bath in the bus?
Yeah. When did he arrive?
Double check that.
When did he arrive? He arrived in April 1992.
Let's see here.
But it says,
He arrived in April 1992.
yeah, but in that paragraph before, it says May 1992. So that was a mistake.
So that was not a mistake. It was April, not May. And now we have a bed and a stove in the bus. I don't see a bath. Right?
Okay.
eat small animals and fruit and vegetables which he grew himself. Now, were there really lots to eat?
No.
No, he was actually starving.
Yeah.
And did he grow any food himself?
He might have done.
I believe it said wild potatoes, wild vegetables, which would mean that he was finding them in the wilderness, not that he was growing them himself.
It seems that Chris was
We definitely have some animals that he shot. Wild potatoes, wild mushrooms, and berries. But nothing here about him actually growing the food, right? If it's a wild potato, he didn't grow it. If it's a wild mushroom, he didn't grow it. He found it
But
in the wilderness.
he was starving, wasn't he? And he was so weak he couldn't get out of the bus.
Right. After 5 months of living alone, he started to feel ill. He had no strength because he was eating poisonous plants. Did say poisonous potatoes. But he didn't know what this was. He didn't know that this was the reason. He continued eating. He died of food poisoning. Now, was food poisoning the cause of death?
I don't know.
Let's double check. Part of the wild potato plant that was poisonous, he couldn't get out of the bus to look for food, became weaker and weaker as he was starving to death.
Yeah.
Not dying of food poisoning, but starving
Yeah.
to death. Okay. He knew he was dying. He wrote a letter to his parents and took a photo of himself. Did he write a letter to his parents?
I'm not sure.
I believe it said he wrote in his diary often. But a letter to his parents?
It was
His
a
final note.
a final note. That was
Had a
it.
good life.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Bye.
It wasn't a letter. It was a note.
Lost consciousness. Died the 18th. He did take a photo of himself. Other hand raised. Face was thin. Smiling in the picture. A piece, but nothing about a letter to his parents, right?
Yeah.
He seemed happy to die in these circumstances. Said he gave a brave goodbye and looked at peace. So, happy may be a bit of a strong word. More like he was at peace and dying.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that he wanted
Mhm.
to die. Okay, let's see how we did. Hitchhike to Alaska, we got that. The month was April, not May. They had a bed and a stove and not a bath, we got that. There was very little to eat, we got that. Found in the wild, right?
Yeah.
Not that he grew himself. 3 months of living alone. He had no strength because he was eating poisonous plants and he knew this was the reason. He couldn't eat anymore. He died of starvation, not food poisoning. He wrote a note to his parents and took a photo of himself. He seemed at peace, not happy to die
Yeah.
in these circumstances. So, this is a very strange story, isn't it? Okay, and now we have, what do you think? What was important to Chris?
Freedom, living out in the wild
He
with
definitely,
nature.
he definitely did want freedom and living in nature. What wasn't important?
Cars and money.
Cars and money, right? He left his car and burned his money. What do you think he was trying to do?
He was trying to live totally self-sufficiently.
Yes, he was trying to live self-sufficiently in nature. Why do young people feel the need to break away from their parents?
I think often young people feel their parents trying to dictate to them, to tell them, do this, do that, don't do this. And especially teenagers don't really like to be spoken to like that. It's all part of growing up, isn't it?
I agree, yes. Young people do want to have that kind of freedom. They want to have a lot of say over their lives. They don't want to have their lives dictated to them by others. I agree. Do we have any questions about our lesson today?
No, not really. No
Very
questions.
good. Thank you very much for paying attention to our lesson. I'll see you next time.